Hello everybody, it's the 4th of January. We're in the new year, so Happy New Year to you all you lovers of clay. this wonderful stuff that we play with, isn't it great? I'm up here now. I don't know what time it is. I've gone 6:30 in the evening. It's dark outside, but we're trying to make it light in here with these lamps. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lamps here, trying to illuminate my workspace here for us, so we can all see what's going on. Because you know what? I actually look at my own video clips. Surprising what you can learn. On a more serious note, not too serious, but just recently I was down in a shop and I came across one of these bottles. You may be familiar with them. It's actually a pomegranate juice bottle, but I thought the shape of the bottle, I saw it in clay, if you know what I mean. I saw it as something, oh yeah, I reckon I could make something like that in clay. In fact, I have made pots similar to this in clay. I just wanted to mention that though, because it's good to be open, isn't it, to seeing around about us where we can find inspiration from. And inspiration can come in from many different places, can't it? For example, in the supermarket, from nature. Another place one can get inspired from, and I often get inspired from, is from when I see other people's work that I really like. And I've got a pot here that somebody made, and when I saw it, it inspired me. You know, it gave me something. It made me think, oh yeah, oh, I like that. I like, you know, something about the shape of it, or the way it was decorated, its form. It spoke to me. So, to me, art is a form of communication. You know, when you look at art, it's saying something to you, isn't it? Or it should be. Sometimes art is not always, one is not always able to understand, as it were, the language that it is speaking to you. You look at it and you sort of think, You know, art, it creates within you some sort of response, doesn't it? Like, I like, or ooh, I don't like, or I'm not sure, or I'm confused. So I thought I'd have a go at making one of these, because the inspiration, it's giving me an inspiration, but I wanted to go one step further, and that is I want to take that inspiration that it's giving to me, and I want to take my hands on the clay, and I want to impart my impression to that inspiration. So I'm going to do that. First of all though, what I want to do is have a go at making this, not exactly like that. I don't want to reproduce that, otherwise that's just copying it. I don't want to make a copy of that. That's not what I want to do. I want to use that as like the seed that I'm then going to take with my hands, my lump of clay, and I'm going to take this as the seed, and I'm going to give birth to a different kind of flower. So, join me. Let's get the camera down here. little closer on the wheel, and you can see me flesh it out, as it were, this pot. That's what we're doing, isn't it? We're kind of fleshing it out. We're making something come to life, if you like. So let me just adjust these lights. Ooh, these seem to need so much light. So I've got some warm water. Switch on the wheel. Gonna put this bottle there in front of me just so I can refer to it. So what am I doing when I'm making that? I'm making, basically, aren't I? I'm making a cylinder. What? A cylinder? How can you say that's a cylinder? Well, okay, I know it doesn't look like a cylinder at the moment, but in its basic form it would have been a kind of cylinder that one took and then shaped. So let's do that. You know, when you take a lump of clay like this on the wheel, one of the first things you've got to do is you've got to get the lump of clay stuck to the wheel head, isn't it? Have you ever taken a lump of clay, put it on the wheel, taken the water, put your hands on it, you've gone around a few times and whoop, the whole thing comes off in your hands? It happens, doesn't it? It happens to me. But what I'm saying is one of the first things we've got to do is get this lump of clay stuck down. So it's actually quite important here, the side of the bottoms of my hands. Here I'm pushing in and down. I'm trying to get that lump of clay really stuck down. Once I'm confident that it's stuck down, I can then cone it up, you see. So that's what I've just done. I've just coned it up. And once I've coned it up, I can then center it down. This is recycled clay. It's probably been recycled a good many times actually. And I let it dry out, put it in a bucket with some water and some vinegar, let it slake down, I think is the correct word, slake down. In other words, become all soft again, you know. And then I put it out on plaster bats to dry. So I've gone in, I'm moving the clay outwards, forming the base of the pot. I'm now kind of coning it in a bit at the top. It's always good to cone it in. Lifting the clay, coning it in. It's almost, you see, almost you sort of go, lift it up, cone it in, lift it up, cone it in. All the time coning, coning, coning. So, now what I want to do is attain a little bit of height. Okay, now I'm not actually trying to copy that height-wise exactly. What I'm trying to do is use that as the inspiration. So the height is not going to be copied, but so I've got to get in there now. And it's always a good idea, don't let it get too narrow at the base if you want to get some height. So keep it sort of wide slightly. And then we're going to lift it. Keep the clay moving upwards, and coning again. So going down. Now I told you we were going to make a cylinder, didn't I? at the moment what we're aiming for is to get some basic clay distribution going on here. So we're distributing it, but of course you see each time I'm pushing in on the outside here and lifting up, see how it's reduced the diameter of it. So I've got to be aware of that as I go. Now I'm lifting, but I'm also forming the shape. Can you see what I'm doing? So there we're changing it from the conical, the cylindrical, and we're beginning to. You can see a resemblance forming there. Now, in the past, when I've done these, I've made usually the bottom sphere, if you like, the bigger of the three, and the middle one slightly smaller, and the top one smaller still. So I've got to make sure we keep this nicely wet. I've got to keep this in at the top here, but I've got to allow enough space still though to get my hand and wrist in. You've got to learn how to make your hand narrow as possible. I'm fortunate because I have fairly small hands, so right, just at this juncture I'm just going to check the camera. We may come in a little closer. Yeah, I think we could come in a touch closer, don't you? And I think we could drop it down a touch here so we get a little bit more of the sideways angle. Sometimes that's nice, isn't it? A bit of sideways. Something like that. Alright, yes, okay, we'll carry on like that, at that angle. Okay, so, well, obviously we need to refine the shape a little more. It's not finished yet, is it? So down we go. I'm mopping up any excess water. Putting my hand in gently. And I don't want to be going too fast here, so I'm just going to slow it down a little bit. Oh, I still got one more to go, haven't I?
Oh.
Now if you get the angles wrong here, and I get it too overhung, the thing can go in on itself, so to be a bit careful about that. Okay, so far so good, I think. These are not easy to make, I have to say. Well, I'm struggling at the moment. I'm a little bit struggling. Because you know you've got sort of 3 circles here, so they can start, you know, doing a little dance. If you're not careful. You know what I'm going to do with this? And what you can do is, if you're in a halfway through making a pot, and you feel you get to a point where, you know, you sort of think, ooh, this is looking a bit dicey. What you can do is stop it right there, because usually it's getting a bit dicey, maybe because the clay is getting a little bit overworked, it's getting a bit soft, you know, and it's not quite behaving as you want it to. So you can just literally leave it for a few hours to just stiffen slightly, and then you can come back to it and retouch it again. And very often, more often than not, you can rectify it, you know. I'm not really happy with that yet, as it is, in all honesty. And what I want to do is, just as I said, I actually want to leave that and come back to it. Still, well, you can see, well, we're getting there, you know. Okay. Right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift him off the wheel like that altogether and put him over here. It does need a bit of sorting out, that one actually. Oh well, we had a go. These things take practice, don't they? Practice is the key. He says, they say, it is a fact. A fact indeed. Well, yeah, sometimes if you wet the bottom here, if you put a fresh bat down on the wheel head, if you just wet it a bit, it kind of locates itself sometimes a little bit better. I don't know if you know, but these plastic bats with these things that take the recesses here to go in the spigots on the wheel there. I did a clip on this, but you know, you can if you drill them right through. I don't know if you can see these ones here clearly, but if you just take an ordinary hand drill and just drill through, there's only 2 that will fit on your wheel, okay? Because you've only got 2 spigots. These have got different spacings here, haven't they? So if you drill through with the drill quickly, like that, and just deburr it. You know, you can then, you know, it's so much easier to locate. I always had such a problem finding the little thing here to locate with that. Oh, it's really getting on my nerves. So drilling through, and then I can see from here. I look through the hole here, and I can see the spigot on the wheel head there, and I just go and drop it straight on, and there as well. And once you've got one on, the other one is easy to locate, isn't it? It's a good little tip, even if I say so myself. Okay, folks. Well, I'm going to go on and have a go at making this other pot here, which is more involved because it involves a lid. I actually want to make it somewhat bigger than this as well. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, Simon Leach says, keep practicing. See you soon.